This episode is brought to you by ElevateOS, the only all-in-one community operating system. ElevateOS transforms property management, combining resident engagement, reservations, rent payments, maintenance, and concierge services into a single super app. It also uniquely integrates access control, intercoms, package lockers, and thermostats, eliminating app fatigue and redefining modern apartment living. Visit elevateos.com/MMN for a free demo and see how they can help you level up your operations. Welcome to another episode of the Multifamily Collective. Today, let's talk about something that I think is near and dear to my heart. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that it's near and dear to my heart, and that is conflict mitigation or conflict resolution, or the ability to have a courageous conversation in a moment of truth. I think this is something that is severely lacking in our multifamily space, this beloved industry that we work in. I think something that is missing in that equation, that industry, is conflict mitigation or conflict resolution, or having a courageous conversation in a moment of truth. It's hard to have a hard conversation. It's hard to sit in front of somebody that you are going to be sitting in front of for the rest of the workday or the rest of the week or the rest of the month, or so on and so forth, and have a courageous conversation with them where you are critiquing their performance or you're critiquing their behavior. That is a hard job. It is the hardest job in leadership, I believe, in my heart of hearts. Most of us, I'm as guilty as the next person as it relates to this, punt that conversation down the road. Or you think, if I just let that go on a little longer, maybe it'll resolve itself. Or maybe if I go out and demonstrate a behavior, let's use trash on a property. So if I walk around the property collecting trash, picking it up and putting it in the trash can or whatever, and I do that and I do it all over the property, in my head, I'm thinking, if people see me doing this, they're going to go out and do this. Not true. Not true 99% of the time. The people that watch you go around and pick up trash are just going to think, great, that piece of my work is done for the day. It's true. Sad, but true. So my encouragement to you is this: have the hard conversation. Don't punt that conversation down the road. Don't go out and think that you're going to exhibit that behavior and then have people just follow you. It doesn't mean that you can't go out and exhibit the behavior, but you need to have the tough conversation either on the heels of or in front of your actions and your behaviors, your own actions and behaviors in picking up the trash. People need to see you doing it, meaning that you wouldn't ask anybody to do anything you wouldn't do yourself, but they also need to know that your expectation and your standard is that you are expecting them to do their job, if that is their job, right? And I'm using trash on a property as an example, but there are many examples like that. People don't like confrontation, therefore they act out in ways that are just really counter to the business outcomes that you desire or that you want to achieve. My encouragement to you is just figure out how to get over that rush of energy that comes up when you think that you're going to have confrontation with somebody. Or if somebody triggers you, you know how your heart beats faster, you get sort of, I'll stop short of calling it anger, but you just have anxiety about conversations sometimes. One of the ways that one of the strategies that I've employed, something that somebody taught me way back 15, 20 years ago. I think it was at Equity Residential at the time. And I think I've talked about this specific thing on the podcast before, and it's the SBI model of a conversation: situation, behavior, and impact. If there is a situation where somebody is not picking up trash, or the situation is that trash is not being picked up on a daily basis, therefore our Google reviews are terrible because people keep citing trash on the property. The behavior is that the team member responsible for that is not doing it. And the impact is negative reviews and potentially a loss of lease or a loss of renewal, right? When you're having a conversation with that individual, you spell it out that way. And then you follow it up with, hey, in this situation where we have all the trash on the property, the behavior that I expect is that you pick that trash up because that is part of your job responsibility. And the impact that we'll have as a default is better Google reviews and people that are happy to live at the property. They're not going to complain about it. Even though you still have confrontation in front of you, or you may feel the anxiety of confrontation, at least you have a framework to put that conversation in where you're not attacking a person, but you're rather criticizing a behavior that is impacting your business in a deficit or a difficult way versus impacting your business in a positive way. So you can set the stage with the framework to talk about today and talk about your expectation on a go forward. And that helps mitigate the anxiety that you might have about a conversation that includes conflict or that might bring up conflict, right? My encouragement to you is get your arms wrapped around conflict resolution. Get your arms wrapped around the fact that conflict resolution and other things like that, let's call it soft skills because that's what it is. Those are going to be the skills that are paramount for you, for me, for all leaders going forward. Because when AI comes in, and it's doing the routine work that you're used to doing, sitting behind a keyboard and doing data entry or writing emails or doing most of that, believe it or not, is going to be automated. It's going to go away. And you're going to be left with relationship, creating relationship and understanding all the dynamics that go along with relationship to include confrontation. Get really good at conflict mitigation, conflict resolution, having emotionally loaded conversations in a moment of truth. Take care. We'll talk to you again soon.